Welcome back to Geek Philosophy. Today we're going to continue our Comic-Con coverage by talking about Marvel's. How it was Marvel and DC's presence in the Comic-Con this year. As you know, San Diego Comic-Con is ending. Its last day is today as we're recording this Sunday. And we're going to give you some of the highlights of what we think Marvel and Disney did the best and what we enjoyed the most out of it. Now, we're not covering everything that happened in San Diego Comic-Con because it would take probably 3 days to cover it. But for right now, we're just going to talk about the highlights out of Marvel and Disney. And let's first start with...
Iron Fist, Season 2.
So, the trailer was good.
Yeah.
It wasn't flashy. And I think it didn't need to be flashy.
Right.
I think the last time they did something flashy for Iron Fist caused a little bit of expectation and caused mixed feelings in the first season. Honestly, I enjoyed half the season.
Yeah, we've talked about this before, I think off camera, but I enjoyed Iron Fist. I thought that it probably should have been about half the amount of episodes. In some spots in the middle, it just kind of felt like they were stretching it thin just to make a full, 10 or 12 episodes, however many it was.
No, I think they really stretched it thin. And honestly, I still have my debates on whether Iron Fist can be a standalone character.
Yeah, as long as they keep, as long as they go into season 2, keeping in mind that it's okay to poke fun at just how ridiculous the character is. Kind of like what they've done with the Ant-Man movies. Mm-hmm. They've done it some with the Defenders, just the other Defenders giving them a hard time for what, you've got a glowing fist.
Yeah.
Like that. That's
honestly, I felt like the best interaction I saw with him was with him and Luke Cage.
Yeah.
And you get a little bit of that in season 2 of Luke Cage in one episode. And honestly, it just makes me want a Hero for Hire series instead of an Iron Fist series.
Right.
But we do have information. Misty Knight is going to be in this season,
mm-hmm.
which we're wondering, is this going to cause a love triangle? Because in the comics, Misty Knight was with Danny Rand.
Yeah.
It wasn't Colleen and Danny, it was Misty and Danny. So, I'm looking forward to see what kind of love triangle we might be able to get. I don't know. Let's see.
And if that's the case, good for Danny.
I mean, let's face it, money does help.
Yeah.
And we do know who the villain is, Typhoid Mary, which is an interesting choice. If I have to pick, if I pick villains, that wouldn't be the first pick of the villain that came to my mind.
Sure, yeah.
But at the same time, I am kind of happy we're not doing copycat villains.
Right.
Now, let's just hope that they get the story right and they can keep me entertained the whole season instead of half the season.
I'm going to watch it either way. This is basically filling in the gap between Daredevil season now and Daredevil season 3.
It's like,
because that's what we're all really looking forward to.
There's nothing else to watch. I'm just going to go ahead and watch season 2.
Right, we've already gotten Jessica Jones season 2. We already got Luke Cage season 2.
And you've only gotten like 1 out of the 2, right?
I haven't seen all of both, so I can't pass judgment.
You can skip Jessica Jones all day long.
Ooh.
I'll say that.
All right. I need to get on that and watch it then.
Then you have the newest animated Marvel show. I think looks like they're really trying to step up their the animation game, but Marvel Uprising Initiative.
Yeah.
Initiation. So this is a story that's going to focus strongly on a majority female cast, where you have Squirrel Girl, Miss Marvel, Ghost Spider, which is known in the comic book world as Spider-Gwen,
mm-hmm.
Quake, and the Patriot, which is a male. So I feel like there's one more. Is there one more? That's all I saw in the trailers.
Yeah.
So it's really focused on Squirrel Girl, Miss Marvel, and Ghost Spider. So more to come on that. It's coming out at August 15th, I want to say, is the release date for that.
Not very far
Disney
at all.
XD. So they gave us a little trailer, get people ready. I think it got a couple buzz.
And I'm looking forward to it.
And Quake is done by Chloe Bennett, which, if you don't know her, she is Quake on on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So you have that correlation. So they didn't skip out. They paid her money to make sure she can do both shows.
Continuity. All right.
Yeah. And then let's get into some of the movies, because as you know, there wasn't that much movie-wise.
This is an off year for Marvel movies.
Yeah, I mean,
well,
they
from
did,
here on, yeah.
Look, they
had
did
a
well
great first
in the
half
beginning.
of the year.
They said, "Look, we're gonna get our money in the beginning of the year, then we're gonna rest."
Yeah. I should point out that the first half of this year they've done better than what most studios do in 5 years.
Honestly, if you look at it, I was looking at some statistics the other day. So if you count Disney's newest acquisition, let's just say the Fox deal was happening, right? They will be 50% of the market of the blockbuster.
I believe it. Yeah.
So right there, which tells me once the sales happen, Disney is a threat.
Yeah.
The mouse is very pleased right now. But we can go into now. The movies we're going to go into are really not a kind of half Marvel, half not, because we got the animated movie by Sony, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, where we focus mostly on Miles Morales, which is the Spider-Man that picks up after Peter Parker's death.
Yeah.
And we're looking to see that he's getting mentored by a 40-year-old Peter Parker from another universe. So, it looks interesting. The story looks good. I'm actually pretty excited for this one.
Yeah, definitely.
I think I think Sony can do this. Actually, I think Sony's doing this to make sure they don't lose Spider-Man completely.
Right. And this is also the one that we've talked about in recent videos with Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, Nicolas Cage is going to be
Noir,
Spider-Man Noir. They have announced Spider-Gwen is in it, and they have announced that Spider-Ham is going to be in this too. So, Clay doesn't know that much about Spider-Ham.
If you go way back in our, I think it was the very first or second.
I think that was our first random.
The very first
random battle.
Yeah, random battle that we had at the end of the podcast, episode 1. You
Nightwing
had to argue. Yeah,
Spider-Ham.
I had Nightwing and you had Spider-Ham.
He's gonna realize how much he was wrong when he sees this movie. Coming out Christmas time. Again, it's. I think this is the right move, and as far as animation, and you can do toys and so forth. This looks like a very fun movie. So, I think they got a winner. I think Sony got a winner on this one.
Yeah, but it's been a long time coming. They need to compete with those DC animated films that have been, for the most part, really good.
Really good. Even though they go straight DVD, they've been really good. Now this one is going to theaters. Let's see what they can do. But let's go into the next one, which is one that, if you heard me, I am not.
He's not so excited. I'm willing to give it some time.
I will say that the panel this year did make me feel a little bit better, but not much.
Of course, we're talking about Venom. The Tom Hardy Venom movie. I think they've got something up their sleeve where this is going to wind up being a good movie. And now, having said that, if I go into it and I leave and there's zero mention or even a hint at Spider-Man, there's zero tie into the MCU, then I'm going to walk away really disappointed.
There's none of this. That's the problem. And this interview, this panel, kind of confirmed it. The director said there are no heroes in this movie.
Yeah.
Now, I understand we're calling Venom an anti-hero. Yeah. They show some footage of some rated R stuff. They haven't given it rated yet. But you do see, like, Venom biting heads off and so forth. So this is legit a Venom movie where he is not a true hero. And when they say there are no heroes in it, that means Tom Holland cannot be in it.
I don't know. I'll wait till I see it. They've said that sort of thing before, and then, we wouldn't want that spoiled either way.
There's a way to mislead, and there's a straight line.
Yeah.
If Spider-Man's in this, they straight lied to us this whole time, and then I can't trust them.
But of course, what we go on and on about this, but what we're trying to get to, I guess, is what they confirmed on the panel.
They confirmed on the panel that the symbiote that is going to be.
Notice how he said it, Jenny Slate in the movie. It's not symbiote. We don't say that.
No,
Symbiote.
Is going to be Riot. Now, Riot is one of the old school Venom children. One of the forgotten children. Let's just go ahead and say that. He came out with a group of 5 other symbiotes. So, let's see what happens. But he looks like he's going to be in this movie. He's going to be a contender. He's going to be, instead of his traditional all black, he's going to be in a more silverish color. And that kind of excites me that they're expanding on the Venom mythos, but it also disappoints me because that kind of kicks Carnage out of the way. And we've been hearing...
I have a feeling that they're saving Carnage for some sort of end of film. That's when you're going to see him, and it's going to lead into a sequel or something. So I don't expect to see much of Carnage in this movie.
No, but a part of you wants to see that.
I want to see it, yeah, but they don't need to have that all in this. So then we're moving on. We have from movies going into comics. We have the Spider-Geddon comic event.
So, big crossovers. This is what we like to do here in the comic book industry. Big crossovers. And what better way to do a big crossover when a movie about the Spider-Verse is coming out than do another Spider-Verse themed crossover where Spider-Men of all universes, or Spider-Verses, join together to fight a big threat. So you're going to see the traditional, like the Spider-Girls, where you see Mayday Parker, the original Spider-Girl, daughter of Peter Parker. You'll see, I want to say Jane Parker, which is spiraling, which is in the Renew Your Vows. And then you'll see Anya Corazon, which is the Spider-Girl of the Prime Universe. You're going to see some Spider-Gwen. You're going to see some Spider-Ham. Put Spider in front of anything, you're gonna see it. I think Spider Slinger is the Western version.
Yeah.
You even got the Japanese robot version. Yes, where he had a Megazord. He's coming back. So yeah, that's gonna be the next big crossover event for Spider-Man universe. So stay tuned to hear more about that. And
then we're moving on to a big one that you're surprised about, right?
There's one more I want to talk. There's one more comic event that's coming up, which is there's going to be a new X-Men comic event coming up this fall. We don't know much about it. There are rumors that they might be bringing Cyclops back, which would be fitting since the original Jean, just came back in the comics. So, and Cyclops, the original Cyclops is dead. It's kind of disheartening. So, we can bring back Cyclops and not make him a jerk. I'll appreciate that. I always like Cyclops. A lot of people don't like Cyclops. I like Cyclops.
I didn't dislike him. I just was apathetic about it.
When you saw the triangle between Wolverine, Jean, and Logan, who'd you pick?
Well, I mean, in the comics and especially in the movies, he's just not a likable character. Definitely in the movies.
In the comics, he's the boss.
Yeah.
He is boss. Does better leadership than Xavier ever could. Just gonna put that out there.
Those are fighting words.
Well, if Marvel comes up with a streaming service like DC does, and maybe you can read some comics on that one, because Xavier did some messed up stuff in his day. Real messed up stuff.
Yeah. And we should say too that that's probably going to come, that streaming service.
Yeah, well, I mean, Marvel does have Marvel Unlimited right now, but it's a very limited, even though it's unlimited in the title, it's a very limited comic library in there.
Right.
But I do want to talk about streaming services and talk about a surprise that knocked me off my socks. Disney said, I'm bringing the Clone Wars back. And they said it in a big way. I didn't see this trailer coming a mile away. It just dropped.
This might have been the biggest surprise that Disney and Marvel had up their sleeves,
This is the biggest surprise. So they're bringing the CGI animated series that was on Cartoon Network back in, I want to say 2010. It's been 10 years. So it had to be like 2008. 2007.
Well, they had a few follow-up seasons on, was it Netflix?
I think they just did the whole season. They just did all the seasons. So, but yeah, they're bringing back to finish off the Clone Wars saga because it kind of got canceled abruptly.
Right.
They're gonna bring it back, and guess where they're gonna bring it back on? Disney Disney's own streaming service.
Yeah.
Yeah, no other information was given about the Disney streaming service except for they are bringing this show back and it will be on this streaming service.
That is a big play to the fans to try and get them excited
Well,
about
this is the exact play that DC did with Young Justice.
Yeah.
This is the exact play. People wanted Young Justice back. I think people want Young Justice back more than Clone Wars, but they wanted it back, and they said, hey, you can have it back. This is our streaming service. Mm-hmm. And they're focused really around that. I think Disney has more to offer on content. It's just really see how they're gonna do it.
Yeah.
Like, what's the price point? What are the things you offering? Are they gonna do something more like Disney now? I mean, like DC now, where they're gonna offer other streams instead of just visual content or like TV or movie content. Are they going to offer other things? That's going to be telling in the next couple months, and it really depends on how fast they sign that acquisition for Fox.
Yeah. This is we're also waiting to see if this is going to be a whole new streaming service, or with their acquisition of Fox, because they'd be a majority shareholder in Hulu. Are they going to hijack that, and Hulu's going to become a whole new thing with Disney?
The fact that they brought up the Clone Wars and they did that with such finesse, I have a feeling that they already have a platform and they're just going to utilize Hulu for something else.
Right.
But
or even share their stake or sell their stake in it. So.
Yeah. And speaking of shows, we have Cloak and Dagger has been renewed for a second season, and that was announced at Comi-Con. I haven't finished it. Where I am at right now is boring. Apparently it gets better. I have to have faith and go ahead and just start watching it again. But where I left off it was boring.
I guess I need to devote some time to it because it didn't appeal to me at all to begin with, so I haven't even started.
It didn't appeal to me, but I was like, it's got to get better. Let me give it another episode. And then I was like, I can't do it. And then everyone's now saying, oh, it's so good. And I'm like, y'all are phony. Y'all are lying to me. But it got renewed for a second season, so there's got to be some quality in there. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a shot, finish it out. And we also get a trailer for The Gifted that came out.
Yeah.
So Empire alum Anika has joined that group. And honestly, the first season was actually pretty good. So I'm looking forward to see what they're going to do with this season. Like, are we going to get a little bit more into the mythos of the X-Men? Because it's the X-Men. It's an X-Men show without X-Men, which is kind of interesting that they were able to.
That would be a hard sell.
That was originally that was a very hard sell. When I first heard the concept, I'm like, this is not going to work, but it worked, and now we're got to get a second season.
Yeah. This
fall, so more to come on that as we get closer.
So then we're going into the we have one or two more things on the list here.
We got one more, and that's going into the video game realm.
Oh right, yeah.
Spider-Man for the PS4 has gotten a new story trailer at Comi-Con where we see a little bit more into the story. We're seeing some interaction between Miles Morales, Mary Jane. We're seeing some Silver Sable action. We're seeing a little bit more depth that, Spider-Man might not be welcomed.
Might not. And if you've been watching our previous videos, if you've kept up with our podcast and everything, I'm more the Xbox guy. Don's more the PS4 guy. We both share a love for Nintendo.
This might switch him. This might get him.
This is, I think this might be the game. This and God of War are the two things that keep pulling me over towards. It's just, do I want to spend? Is it worth it to me to spend, $400 on a PlayStation to get two games? I'm sure I'm going to get it. It's just, do I get it now or do I get it later?
Or does he just come over to my house and play it?
That's true. Yeah, maybe I'll just go the cheap route. So. It's something definitely that's exciting. I every time I see these new trailers pop up, it makes me want to go back and play Spider-Man 2 for my old Xbox.
Yeah, and this story PS2 seems a lot more compelling than this. It looks like there's some thought put into it. I mean, we already know that the comic book line is going to come out along with it. So there's some heavy investment writing in this. So I gotta give them their props. I think
and the scale looks huge.
Yeah.
Just the city alone, and then the amount of villains that they have in this. On top of the story trailer we just got, so we're able to see some more details. So I'm really looking forward to it.
So, but I think those were the biggest things out of Marvel this year. Are we gonna? We kind of predicted we weren't gonna get anything on Captain Marvel.
Right.
We weren't gonna get anything on Avengers 4. Probably New York Comic-Con we're gonna see some of that stuff.
Yeah.
So, yes, DC won this one, I think. As far as trailers and movies and so forth.
Pretty easily won that one.
I think it's going to be a tougher challenge in New York. I think Marvel's going to really come back fighting hard.
Right.
Especially if they drop a Captain Marvel trailer, which is the right time to drop a Captain Marvel.
Or an Avengers 4 title.
Ooh.
Give us some idea of what that's going to be. So.
You think someone's working in the back like, we need to change it from Endgame?
Like we said before, I've said before, I don't think it's Endgame. That would be kind of foolish because this whole time Kevin Feige's been saying that they can't say Avengers 4 title because it's a spoiler for Infinity War.
Well, the funny thing is, Chris Hemsworth did come out this weekend on his Twitter phone with his Twitter fingers and stated, Avengers 4 will shock you even more than Avengers 3. I don't know how that's possible unless you're killing people in the audience. I don't know how that's possible.
And the Russo brothers said at Comic-Con this week that they felt that this was the Avengers 4 is the best work they've ever done with their career. So
you can't tell me that stuff and not expect me. This gotta deliver.
Yeah,
it really has to deliver because I still think Winter Soldier's one of their best pieces of work.
Yeah, so. We'll wait and see. Thankfully, we don't have too much longer for Captain Marvel and all of that. We should be getting some information trickling in here between now and the fall.
I think New York Comic-Con is where they're going to drop it. If I was them, I would drop it New York Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fingers crossed.
But that's it. Tell us what you think. What did we miss out of the Marvel's recap? You think there was something that we should have talked about? Put it down in the comments down below. Put your own philosophies down there too. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button, so you can be notified and we can talk and chat in the comment section with you. All right? Geek Philosophy, the Geek Way of Thinking. Have a great day, y'all. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for stopping by Geek Philosophy. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up button, put your philosophies in the comments, and also hit that subscribe button so you can be notified of all future videos. Thanks for stopping by Geek Philosophy, the Geek Way of Thinking.